Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast, a special episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. Why is it special, Cyborg Mark?
Because I'm here. Hi, everybody.
That's right. And with us, as always, is the lovely Megan Austin. How are you?
Hello, I'm fantastic. And you?
Good. I accidentally put the music back in a little bit.
Yeah, because I needed some intro song.
But the real reason it's special, not because of you two, because you're not special, and I tell you that all the time, is that we have somebody from far and away from movies, films, and flicks, Mr. Mark Hofmeyer. Welcome to the show, sir.
That music got me pumped up. I just had some coffee, and that music kicked in, and my heart just, well, actually, it might be a health issue. I'm not, it's just one of the two. I'm either really jacked up right now, or I might explode. So.
For sure.
That music literally is like the most exciting noise of my week. I love it.
I really need you to consult your physician and get back with us. So that when this posts, we're good to go.
Man.
Are you okay?
That music, guys, I'm telling you, it hit me. It hit me hard.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Best
Good
$20 we ever spent.
I'm so glad. So the reason why is Mark from Movies, Films, and Flicks on here? If you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook or anything like that, or Seven Lamb as well, on the 24-hour podcast that I did with Robert Lamb, you and who's your partner that you do the podcast with?
John Livingood.
John Livingood. You guys joined us on the 24-hour podcast, and we got to talking about movies as you do. And
pretty much it.
We kind of talked about Alter Ego and a trash movie that we had just seen because you brought up this thing that you put us through.
I don't think that either of these movies are trash.
Oh.
I think that these are expertly made movies that know what they are.
Wow.
That's my theory.
You know what's funny? When I say that a movie
Positive
is trash, I kind of feel bad because our youngest son, one time, my wife and her sister were watching a movie. What was the movie?
Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie. And they were just dogging this movie to death.
Mind
and
you, it's my younger sister, and she's like 13, so, I mean...
My youngest son turns to her and goes, "Hey, somebody worked really hard on this movie." I was like, okay.
And he put us in our place so fast. I was like, man, he is so right. I feel like such an asshole.
All right, so let me get into our wonderful sponsors, and then we'll get into movies, films, and flicks, and then we'll jump right in. Sound good to everybody?
Woo!
Awesome.
I guess.
Well, our returning sponsor since the beginning, Ford Supply Company. This episode of Alter Ego is sponsored by Ford Supply.
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Sorry, the thing was in
gosh.
the way, and I was nervous that it stopped. Sorry, everybody.
Jeez.
I'm recording too, just in case.
Okay.
Because I don't want to
And
talk
also,
to you guys
from-
unless we're recording.
You know, so
Otherwise,
we
I'm
just
leaving.
we lost $3 because we stopped mid-ad. That's in the contract.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Ford Supply.
All right. This episode of Alter Ego is sponsored by Ford Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men with scents like tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, and cypress pine. Visit their website at FordSupply.com to order online and use promo code Alter Ego to get 10% off your order. Ford soap. Real soap. No bullshit.
None.
So I was listening to one of your older episodes, and it really intrigued me. So I went on the website, and I ordered some of his baked bean soap.
Really?
And some of his Skunk Ape Florida soap.
Skunk Ape Florida is a popular one up here, boy.
It's-
You go
it's
to
fun.
any bowling alley in Florida, and you are going to smell some Florida swamp monkey, whatever you said.
It is pungent. It's very pungent, but
Yeah.
it's as advertised. When I ordered it, it said,
sure.
"Beware, pungent," and
Yeah.
I said, "I'll be fine."
There's
It's in my house, and it is pungent.
Yeah.
And I can't hate it.
You have to move now.
if I'm not mistaken, it has a "do not open" on the package.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Alien when the acid blood goes through the ship? When I took it out of the box, it dropped right through my concrete, like my floor, and went right through the concrete slab. And I'm pretty sure it's still going.
There's a structural damage clause in the receipt once you buy it. It's just totally.
It's going to hit the core of the earth by the end of the day.
It might even survive the core.
I can still hear hissing coming from this rectangular hole in my floor.
Industrial solvent.
Yeah, and some people still use it on their bodies.
Some people need it.
So,
I only have 3 fingers left because of it.
Because of handling the package, right?
Yeah, it was like a hot potato, but just scalding acid pungentness, and it went through my floor.
Oh, my goodness.
But it was worth it because it said all of that on the label. So I can't even sue because it's my fault.
That's right. That's right. It forewarned you, and yet, like the typical consumer, you plowed right through it.
On the baked bean soap. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man, it's like bush beans mixed with some other kind of beans.
Right.
Brown sugar.
Let's just go ahead and say you rolled that beautiful bean footage, didn't you?
When, Spider-Man 3, when Peter Parker turns evil and he's strutting down the street?
Yes,
that was
I do.
me after using that soap.
No.
Oh, boy.
Just wafting of beans.
He's like,
going
and now
down
I
Main
can't
Street.
go back to that TGI Fridays ever again.
I was finger snapping. I had pop collars.
Yeah.
I was pointing at people.
I love that. Tobey Maguire's actually a big fan of the show. He listens all the time, so hopefully he gives us some good feedback on that. And maybe he'll buy some baked bean soap.
We play poker every Thursday night, man. It's great.
Yeah. Last time we talked,
I've lost millions to him.
last time we talked, Stephen Baldwin it was about feeding time for him at your house.
Yeah, but I just can't talk because I'm bleeding.
Gotcha.
So just got to let you guys know.
Oh, my
But I'm
Lord.
better now.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. I'm good. I wrapped it up.
So in honor of Ford Supply, I took some of their soap names and tried to find movies.
The real ones, right? The real ones.
Movies after their likeness. So I'm just going to read some of these are the IMDb summaries of some of the soaps, and I think that they should put these on the box.
Oh, no.
So let's start with Ranger,
Which smells
which is
fantastic.
after the Ranger horror movie. Teen punks.
I like that movie.
Teen punks on the run from the cops and hiding out in the woods come up against the local authority, an unhinged park ranger with an axe to grind while the teens discover their bisexuality. I added that last part in because it wasn't really catching
I was going
me.
to say, that took an interesting turn at the end.
Yeah,
I like
it
that.
did. What?
No, they don't. It stops with axe to grind.
That movie has a great color palette. I don't know if you've watched it, but it's very brightly colored.
Yeah.
But it's in stark contrast to all the violence.
When I haven't-
that's exactly like the soap.
So I haven't seen the movie, but looking at the images and stills trying to promote it on IMDb, I definitely caught that right away. Even the cover of it, the way they show the Ranger's face on it was pretty cool. The next one, Brewmaster documentary. The story of craft beer, as told through the young New York, a young New York lawyer who dreams of opening his own brewery and a Milwaukee-based beer educator trying to pass the Master Cicerone exam.
Wow.
I mean, that sounds partially close. Not at all.
That sounds terrible.
It does sound bad.
Makes me want to drink Green Bench.
It just makes me want to drink. I'll stop there.
And St. Pete's gotten so much. I used to live in St. Pete in like the early 2000s,
Yeah.
late 90s.
I was going to say, that's a local reference, man.
Yes, it is.
It's I went to SBC for a year. I played tennis in Treasure Island. Like I taught at all the schools around there. I bounced at Ferg's. That place has changed.
You bounced at Ferg's, huh?
Yeah,
cool.
it was wild, man. Holy crap.
Sounds like
Yeah.
fun. I used to bounce way back when, but we won't get into that.
Jack used to get thrown out of Ferds all the time,
That's
so
not
maybe
true.
you guys met in person.
No, I was on
Yeah,
Mark's
I
side of it.
probably
I
did.
worked at State Theater right up the road.
Oh, love that place.
Yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
so
I
this is
derailed
going to
it.
be a
My
bit
bad
of a
again.
tease. That's all right. I expected
If I was
this.
a train movie, I would be in a lot of trouble. 'Cause I'm always,
You'd be looking for a plot hole in the Chrysler Building.
yeah,
Anyway,
I just dropped the soap down there.
that's right.
Uh-oh.
So Castaway. When I say
Oh, boy.
Castaway, you guys probably think of the Tom Hanks vehicle Castaway. But there's a 1986 Castaway. It's an adventure biography.
Two words
Middle-aged.
or one.
Say again?
2 words or one.
One word. Adventure/biography. Middle-aged Gerard Kingsland advertises in a London paper for a female companion to spend a year with him on a desert island.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound Castaway so much as
Getting murdered
like
on
being
an
a hermit.
island.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe the person was cast away from society.
Yeah. That sounds about right if he's trying to solicit a woman to come with him.
Whoa.
I got to leave soon. We got to spend a year on an island. You want to go?
Or he's a
That
fisherman.
woman was murdered 2 days in. You know it.
Credits. This is one I'm hoping you know something about, Mark.
Which Mark?
This is not Cyborg Mark.
He didn't make eye contact.
He's eating
not
batteries.
talking to me.
Can we call you JCVD, Mark? Because Cyborg makes me think of that movie.
I'll allow it.
He'll allow it.
All right, cool.
Okay. So this is the
Jean-Claude
movie
Van
called Gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to read it exactly as it says it on IMDb. I feel that's important.
It's a great movie.
The movie Gentleman revolves around character Barath, who is suffering from a rare disorder called beauty of sleeping syndrome. Because of this, he tends to sleep 18 hours a day and will only be awake only 5 to 6 hours. Story, which I'm assuming is the story deals with daily routine, have a life of the protagonist while is not simple as others. Meanwhile, the hero loses his family in an accident and I don't know what that means, lay with his brother 5-year-old daughter. Maybe lives. What? Although he tries to rebuild, the life with the kid, it fails as the kid gets kidnapped and he starts to find her, which makes the story to next level, leading to mafia.
That sounds terrible.
That's word for word. It's copy pasted from the site, and I felt that was important.
Is this a different Gentleman movie than I'm thinking?
Do you have a computer virus? Because
no, you guys are thinking of the new one with Matthew McConaughey.
I'm not thinking of anything.
Okay.
I want you to do something. Go to the full cast and crew for the movie you're looking at now.
Hold on a second. Happy to do that.
All right. Go to first camera operator.
Oh my God!
Is it you?
And you'll notice a very familiar name.
Hold on. We need a Google song.
This is another good one.
This is The Gentleman. I need the 2020. Here we go.
2020?
Wait, no, is this 2017? Sorry.
He's so confused.
Rob said, this is it. Let's go to...
It's a new movie?
I'm excited.
Cast and crew.
What an ugly man in this picture.
You don't even see it, you goon. Who am I looking for?
Oh, no, I'm just messing with you. I just thought it'd be funny.
We found it. Okay, cinematography by Sudhakar Shetty.
I was going to say I was the first AC on it, but...
it didn't go well.
I just wanted you guys to read the whole thing, and then why am I reading
in there
this?
somewhere.
I knew you had connections to Jadesh Kumar.
Well, yeah, I worked with him last year.
For sure. 100%. So the thing that made me laugh about this movie is that this 5-year-old girl is kidnapped by the mafia, and her narcoleptic Barath sleeps 18 fucking hours a day.
So he searches for her for 5 and then just passes out.
It's sleeping of, beauty of sleeping syndrome. So he looks for her for 5 hours, gets a hot lead, falls asleep 18 hours later. It's done.
I hope he's writing stuff down.
I mean, geez, he would be useless in first 48.
That's a solid 5, though, he's got to give.
Yeah.
It's the first 10.
And let me tell you, if he's sleeping the 18 hours and he wakes up gorgeous, the kidnappers might come to him. Here we go.
Breathtaking.
Here's the last one. Captain. After the captain for Ford Supply. In the last moments of World War II, a young German soldier fighting for survival finds a Nazi captain's uniform. Impersonating an officer, the man quickly takes on the monstrous identity of the perpetrators he's trying to escape from. Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to get away from Nazis. He is a Nazi. He dresses up as a Nazi and then becomes a Nazi. Jesus.
That is a
Ford
roller coaster
Supply.
ride.
Ford Supply, really? You need to get rid of that, buddy. Don't put that on the back of your soap for the captain. Anyway.
Well, being that this is a fictional
We'll
situation.
talk about it. They don't know that out in listener land. Mark will back me up.
I feel like I need to tell them.
Wait, it's fictional?
Yeah. No, it's real.
Stop.
Oh, man.
The soap is real.
That got dark. Second sponsor of the night, Tony Anello's. Tony Anello's Southern Italian Cuisine and Grill is a hidden gem that's family owned and operated on the outskirts of St. Pete at 1136 Pinellas Bay Way South, Tierra Verde, Florida. This is a must-try for a homemade Italian lunch or dinner. Just remember to bring your appetite because the portions are very generous. Call for a reservation today, 727-867-3577. Have you ever been to Tony Anello's when you were in St. Pete, Mark?
Nope. I have not. I went to CD Roma's.
Next time you come, they're identical, same restaurant.
No.
But I do remember what you said, though. Every
they're
time
not.
I've gone to an Italian restaurant, I'm always full.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever left. I remember you guys were talking about that. You took home leftovers. That's what I do every time.
Have
I just
to.
get stuffed and unhappy.
And
But
if
I do
you
it every
finish,
time.
you're going to be just ruined and miserable. You know what I mean? Like, I ate all this.
Oh,
I mean, you definitely are satisfied with Tony Anello's food. That's no joke. But you're satisfied several different times.
There is nobody like Tony Anello's.
And they are going to be, just keep everybody's ears open, they're going to be doing a giveaway on next week's episode. So stay sharp. Stay tuned.
I accept.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Can we enter for this?
Just
free chicken parm for days.
Chicky parm, baby. Just want to talk about a couple of episodes before we get into the news that are popping out on Seven Lamb. End of All Hope was out on Thursday, August 6th. Movie Night out on August 7th. The 24-hour podcast, where you can find all these people on this podcast right now. Episode 2 is came out Saturday, the 9th. And Atlas Avenue Beat, the new season, which is already premiered. I think it's episode 2 coming out August 12th. So, what we do typically here, Mark, is go through our posts of the week on social media and just kind of discuss them. There's some good movie tidbits. I figured you might be able to weigh in. But first, I would like for you to give everybody more information than they could ever possibly want about movies, films, and flicks.
All right, so I started in 2010. We also have a podcast. Just write movie reviews, weird data. So I don't know if you guys know, but on Reddit, my name is Lundgren's Front Kick. And then I grew that name up to really like a big size. And I do a lot of weird data posts, like how far does the creature from it follow. I figured out just all sorts of weird data. That kind of got me big. Then I started working with like AV Club. Wired interviewed me. So it's doing really well. I also have a podcast called Movies, Films, and Flakes. We're doing really well. We just hit number 3 in Ireland. I think number 9 in New Zealand, 2 in Russia. So it's a popular film review podcast. Good
day, mate.
And then I also work for like Rotten Tomatoes. I've been doing that since 2017. So a lot of my data is there. I do a lot of their videos. And then the Film Theorists. I don't know if you guys have heard about them on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So no, they're cool. So I just got a gig with them. So I'm writing videos for them now. And it's just a long time ago with Movies, Films, and Flakes, I realized being a traditional movie critic, I used to be a movie critic.
Yeah.
And I don't like writing movie reviews. So I just started doing weird data posts. Like, is it better if Jason Statham wears a coat in a movie as opposed to a turtleneck? Just really weird, random data that just makes people laugh. And so we built our name on that. We have John's Horror Corner. He's like a big horror following on that. And yeah, it's cool. Just doing that and writing reviews and writing for other people. So it's neat.
What's your favorite bit of data that you have found from a movie? Like you just said, that when it follows, technically,
movies
how far does it
jet
follow?
Ski action scenes only have like a 29% tomato meter average.
I'm so surprised to hear that.
Yeah, and they're bad. They're very rarely fresh. I don't know what it is about jet ski action scenes. They're really bad. Like in Hard Rain, when he's chasing Christian Slater goes, okay, I'm going to go underneath you. And then the guy pulls a 3-point turn on a jet ski and you fall asleep. And it's just the most boring chase scene ever on jet skis. They're just boring.
I'm trying to think of other prominent. Now, hold on a second.
Baywatch, like Waterworld, those are boring. They run right into each other.
But Waterworld, I was about to say that's what's got to tip the curve.
Nah, at the end they drive right into each other when Kevin Costner bungee jumps. Like that's not a great vehicle.
Did you see Tiger King? That is a fantastic jet ski scene at the end.
Oh Lord.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah, Eastbound and Down too. I love those. No, I mean, yeah, they love their jet skis. I don't know. That's what kind of made my first big thing and like my first big data point.
My favorite one that Rob with Seven Lamb told me about was, I think you guys tried to see which of the Fast and Furious films was fastest and which one was most furious.
Yeah, that one was cool. That one did really well. Like one of my favorite writers, Shea Serrano. I don't know if you guys know him from Ringer. Well, he's like I'm bragging. I don't care. But he's like from New York Times. He's a bestseller. So like he and I started chatting back and forth from that. So we've been talking. I wrote a video for Film Theorists, so that should be coming out pretty soon for them for that. And then I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I came up with a movie called Jacked Up, starring Adam Sandler, because he said if he didn't get nominated for an Academy Award,
I heard this,
for Uncut Gems, he would make the worst movie possible. So I came up with it based on all his movies, and it just got shared all over the place.
Can you give us? I think Jack and Jill from his previous films are in it. Am I mistaken?
Oh no, so he plays himself and his wife.
Good.
And he's a personal trainer shoe salesman who has to go to Costa Rica for a wedding or high school reunion. And during the time, Terry Crews and Maya Rudolph, who are both they're running for Congress and president, they get hijacked by Rob Schneider, who's a terrorist.
Yes.
And it ends with a jet ski chase in a lazy river.
Where does either Drew Barrymore or Jennifer Aniston come in?
They're too good. They're too good.
Too good. Okay.
Because I had to make the worst movie possible. They're too good. So they can't be in it. So I took all the worst elements from his worst movies, and they're not the worst elements.
Okay. Well, that's true. I was going to say, I mean, those two are always his love interest in said movies.
Yeah, and they're good. Wedding Singer, right? Murder Mystery was fun.
Yep.
Just go with it. I'm a Sandler file.
Wedding Singer was great. It's one of our favorites. We still watch that at the house every once in a while.
So I love that he's just, critics hate him. And everyone just makes fun of his movies. But every time they release on Netflix, they break records. Every time he goes into theaters, they make 200 million worldwide.
So many people go to see it.
Yeah, the dude just knows his audience, and he does not care. He gets nice vacations when he shoots. He's good to his crew. I worked on film sets for years, and I know a lot of people that worked with him and said he's great. So, he has my respect, because you work with so many terrible people on film sets. So I have a lot of respect for the dude. And I wrote Jacked Up more as like a fun. I didn't write it as a hater.
Right.
I was like, hey, here you go, man. So
you want a terrible movie? Here's my script. Got it. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So on to some of the news that we've posted this week, and thank you. Please link us any of this stuff. Link us your new video that you just wrote. Please, I will share the hell out of it as soon as I get it. So if you've got anything you want us to throw up on Alter Ego or anything, or just promote the hell out of, I'm happy to do that. So please send it my way. First big bit of news that the wife was very giddy and happy to tell me about, and didn't realize I shared it already. She-Hulk, Allison Brie.
What?
Is that official?
Yes.
Oh.
I am so stoked.
Very heavily rumored. I think that's a fantastic casting.
I think she's going to be fantastic.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, she has such great charisma, and she is somebody that I could see. There's a digital image, too, that somebody generated of her as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I invite you to look that up. It looks outstanding.
I think it was by Boss Logic on Instagram.
Yeah, and they basically said that they needed someone in that role who could, obviously, it's She-Hulk, and Allison Brie is 110 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
But they needed someone with that personality that could literally shine straight through all the CGI that she's going to be put under. And I think she could easily do that. I loved her in Community. I think that she has that like you said, charisma and perkiness, and I think it's going to go a long way. I think it's great.
Has anybody watched Glow on Netflix?
Oh, I love Glow, yeah.
I love Glow.
She's
I've
in
not.
that one?
You all need to watch
That's
Glow.
the one about the female wrestlers, correct?
Yes.
It looked good.
It's really good.
And she's in that?
She's her and Mark Maron are the two
main
leads.
Yeah, she's like the main character.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a wrestler in it.
It made me love Mark Maron too. Like
Very
I
cool.
liked Mark Maron, now I love Mark Maron.
That's awesome.
This reminds me of Paul Rudd from Ant-Man type of casting, where
Yes.
it's just, I don't know, I feel like she could arrive on screen fully formed because she's such a good actress.
Yes.
And that's perfect casting.
You know, I think the world nowadays is so up on comics that origin stories are kind of a thing of the past. The audience can get past that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't need a full film to develop.
We know who
it.
the Hulk is. This is the lady version. She's a lawyer.
I believe she's.
That's all we need.
Mr.
Go.
Mr. Banner's cousin.
Yes.
Yes. Next bit of news. Tom Cruise. This is one you could definitely do some statistics on. Tom Cruise. How many times? How far has he run in all of his movies?
Oh, I did that already for Rotten Tomatoes, and he said it was really cool.
That's awesome. He said that was really cool.
Yeah,
Tom did.
Big, yeah. Yeah, type in Tom Cruise running Rotten Tomatoes, and it's all over the place.
See, now when he name drops, it's real. It just makes our situation very sad.
Well, Tom is a big listener of the show.
So I am sounding full of myself.
No, you're not. It's fine. Yeah. Dude, if he liked my stuff, I would tell literally everyone. I'd be a Bob Evans ordering a fucking,
Well, I just want to let you know.
Hey, by the way, Tom Cruise.
My friend Dave
tweeted my
loves
review
the
for
show.
Edge of Tomorrow, too. So, yeah, he's been my bud since 2015.
That's awesome.
Not really. He doesn't know me.
Oh, he knows you.
Has he jumped on your couch?
So his newest movie to be shot in space reportedly has a $200 million budget.
That's not bad.
That's huge.
What is this?
Nah, I mean, Justice League costs $300 just to get to space with the gear.
I mean,
and insurance.
And
to shoot up there.
Insurance would be the most thing. Would be the biggest cost, I would imagine. But it's Tom Cruise. He wants it big. He wants to do it real. He wants to do it. Oh, he's doing it with SpaceX and other private corporations. But $200 million.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it. Yeah, he's doing it with SpaceX and a couple other companies to get him up in space to shoot this movie.
What movie is this?
He's working with Doug Liman, who did Made in America with him, or American Made and Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a maniac on set. So the two of them together in space, I would not want to work on that movie up there.
I would not want to be like the key grip on that movie in space, having to float and not move.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Float better. Was it Chris McQuarrie?
G?
Yeah.
I want -1 G.
God.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, that's interesting. That seemed like typical Tom Cruise news to me. And I had one more good one that I saw. Golly, where is it? Oh, you know what? I just want to say that, and this is before we get into the movies here, 2/3 of the cast binged Umbrella Academy Season 2 in one day. Have you seen it?
I think we're right where you are, 2/3 of the way in. It's so good.
Oh, no, 2/3 of the cast here today has seen it all the way through. We
I
killed it in one day.
I'm 66%.
Nice. Cyborg Mark, is on Season 1 still.
I binged the first 2 episodes.
Binged.
That's not binging. That's just, that first episode was good. Let me just watch a second.
I like enjoying my stuff. Don't tell me how to watch it.
Fair enough. But the first one came out a long time ago, so where have you been?
I got stuff to do.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Mark, can I start using that? I binged the first episode last night.
And I watched that thing all the way through. I didn't pause it once.
I went on a road trip from work to home.
Oh, gosh.
I love it. It's perfect. I'll throw people off. That's perfect for me.
I think it works out very well. So let's get down to it. And I feel bad. This is kind of a 3-on-1 here, which you admittedly are far more knowledgeable when it comes to movies and discussions and stuff like that.
I have no problem being devil's advocate because I think they both were hot garbage.
Well,
so.
I think he should call in Tom Cruise and Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Even the odds a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, what was that, Adam? Oh, you like these movies too? Cool. Hey, you hear that?
I heard it.
You heard it here first. Adam Sandler loves sharks in Venice.
I don't want to play basketball right now, man. Leave me alone.
No, Tom, I ran this morning.
Get off the couch.
So the Alter Ego cast got together and watched Shark in Venice because it was for free on IMDb.
There's only one?
No, they're shark.
The title, now, depending on where you look.
Wait, the poster says Sharks in Venice right now.
The poster says Sharks in Venice.
Thank you.
But the title says Shark in Venice.
Amazon's confused.
And we were tasked with watching that movie, which we did after drinking a lot of alcoholic beverages. And
we ate some dessert,
eating our weight in dessert because we had to hype this up.
It's also important to say that this is after we had watched The Room with Tommy Wiseau.
We literally double featured The Room and Sharks in Venice.
What a great night.
Oh, God.
It was good.
Cyborg Mark was falling asleep.
It was a night. It was a night.
I blame it completely on the movie.
How terrible of a teacher is Stephen Baldwin in this movie?
Yeah.
So
the guy,
David Franks, he goes after his student. He just tears that poor kid a new one. It's like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
And then leaves him on chapter 4.
That's
yes, forever.
Read chapter 4
right now.
Read chapter 4, and then he walks out of the room and never goes back to the classroom. My favorite is this teacher tells him, "You got to go to Venice. All expenses are paid. Let us know when you can come back."
Yes.
That's a dream job right there. Yeah. That guy has tenure.
Here's the thing, too. They never, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I was too tired. They never talk about what Franks' qualifications are, other than showing him in the class.
Yeah, no.
None.
You
do know that Laura, his girlfriend, she's very smart in medieval times.
Yeah, for sure.
She's an expert in medieval studies. She's really smart.
So
we know
taking
that
her
about
along made a whole lot of sense.
Not to mention, she walks up and Stephen Baldwin's like, "Hey, babe." And Megan goes, "Who's Babe?
Yeah.
Babe? Who is this woman?"
There's literally nothing leads up to the fact that all of a sudden there's just this, "Hey, babe." And then she's like stressed.
And
she
she's
doesn't
with
even
him.
know.
Yeah.
What does she know about it?
So
she just feels it.
Yeah. She was deeply affected, obviously a lot more than Mr. Franks.
Yeah.
Dr. Franks.
So weird. You know, this movie was originally called Sharks in Bulgaria.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because the whole movie was shot in Bulgaria.
Oh, it makes me so happy. And I know the director, Danny Lerner, he passed away, but he was like a former military guy. And his brother, Avi Lerner, he's the guy who's produced all the Expendables movies and Drive Angry Mechanic. So he's been moving up in the world.
Oh, boy.
But this Danny Lerner, he's produced Lethal Ninja, Cyborg Cop, Crocodile, just Octopus,
yeah,
Hard Cash,
singular.
He directed a Dolph Lundgren movie called Direct Contact, which I've watched, and so, but he was moving up in the world too. So I don't know why he had been involved with some pretty big budget movies, prior to this. So I mean, this must have been a tax scam. or
he got
the country of Bulgaria paid them off
because it's B-roll of the sharks that he just paid for, probably.
Yeah. So are the shots of the actual beautiful city of Venice.
He hired a guy named Hank to go and drive around and secretly get footage there. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it's just poorly constructed sets.
Yes.
I thought it all had a watermark that said iStock photo on it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was the same, like, especially the first time they're on a boat in Venice or wherever the hell they actually are. There's like a TV behind him, and it's like, it's fucking awful.
Oh, my God.
Well,
yeah.
my thing, too, is the first sharks they show, I don't believe are great whites.
No.
And they're just in open water, too.
Yeah.
They are in
Every
no way
shark
in
is in open water. And they use the same footage of the shark attacks
for every shark attack.
Yeah.
Wait, are we supposed to be defending this?
I feel like we're diving into just the hot garbage that it is.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I love it, because there's such a market in these movies that just churn out these films, and then they sell the foreign rights to different providers, and they make their money back immediately. So you could churn this out for $500,000, sell it to all the different countries, spruce it up a little bit, put a shark on it, and you've made a profit.
Tell them Daniel Baldwin, boom.
I'm wondering if this movie was really big in Italy or something, because it is available in Italian.
Man, it was huge.
Was it?
Yeah, it was bigger than Justice League.
Oh, my God.
What the
No,
hell?
I'm joking.
I was like,
God.
oh, my God.
I was like, what are they watching over there?
Yeah, I just imagine like these Bulgarian guys just hanging out, talking about how they saw Stephen Baldwin, and they were so jazzed about it.
And his running double, which I love, and I just love the big fist fight that he has. And there's a scene, the most beautiful scene in this movie is where he's walking with, so it's David and Laura, they're walking around.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
And I think in Baldwin's mind, since he's been in massive films, Usual Suspects, Fled, even Biodome was a big budget movie.
Yep.
He was walking down thinking there'll be music over this. They aren't going to record. They're recording sound, but they're not going to keep this dialogue.
Yeah.
So when he is going, look at that tower thingy.
And some other beautiful things.
These things.
It's my favorite quote in the whole movie.
Yeah, that's my
fix this
favorite
in
quote,
post.
too.
It's fine.
That's exactly what he had to be thinking, because I looked at that too when I took my notes, and I gotta find him here. But yeah, him going through riffing, I said that to everybody in the room. I was like, he doesn't think they're recording him.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
He goes,
he's just moving his lips.
He goes, another tower thingy, and over here too.
Some other beautiful things.
Some other beautiful things. So my favorite, ceramic horses. You love those.
Yes.
Look, Italian stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was
So this
bad.
sounds bad, but I watched it on mute,
Yeah.
and
Sounds better to me.
it's a lot better because he's just doing the obligatory pointing at things. But he's going a little crazy on the points.
Yeah,
he really is. He's kind of coming across as a show off, like me.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of pointing a lot. But it makes more sense when you pause it. You know who the word thingies.
Yeah.
Play.
So you muted it, no subtitles, and just let him walk through that.
Yeah, and then the running scene they brought dirt bikes into this. This movie has some production value, and there's a great thud. They throw him into a boat, and it's like thunk.
And
one of the funniest things.
Here's my favorite about the running scene. He was attacked while asleep in bed.
Fully clothed
with his running shoes on, jets out the fucking door, and then all that crazy stuff happens during the run, and he's drawing constant attention to himself, and then he's randomly all of a sudden in a boat. We don't know how.
He's perfectly hidden for most of these fights, and people are going by, and he feels the need to attack them, even though they clearly have no idea he's there.
Or push shit over to like, what are you trying to do? Draw attention to yourself, or what the hell?
Here's the
The
thing.
problem is they're running back and forth on the same street.
Right.
Yes,
You're going to see him eventually. Yeah.
That
It's
alley
clearly
got
the
some
same
screen
alleyway.
time.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Poorly made set is one of those.
They're like, if we're going to dress a set in Bulgaria, we're going to use it a lot.
Yep.
And so they had to. But
Here's
dirt bikes in Venice, that's bonkers.
That's a way
That
better
could be the
title,
sequel.
though.
Yeah, Dirt Bikes in Venice.
Whoa. Well, that could be a great movie. Think about it. Like
It's like
Airborne
Rad.
back in the 90s.
The
Yes.
dirt bike that he turns around and it's stalking him, and he doesn't make mention of it, and then turns around again and it's gone, much like the shark fin the first time he's in the boat.
Oh, yeah. And
I was
that
like-
poor couple gets eaten by the
Oh,
shark,
that's the best
too.
scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
The
I
drunk
wonder-
guy, and then all of a sudden the girl who was like a good 10 feet away from him was also eaten at the same time.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Are we going to call that eaten?
Swallowed?
There was just like a splash.
Shoved?
And then
Yeah,
I mean,
consumed.
If I'm that actor, I mean, how is that scene explained to me? So you're standing on this ledge. You never actually get in the water. There's going to be a shark that jumps out and eats you. Even though you're standing on concrete, your legs are going to be in his mouth up to your waist, and you're going to be screaming and flailing. By the way, your girlfriend's eaten too, but we'll do that in post.
I mean, that's easy. That's easy direction. I wish I'd get that direction working. You know, I mean, that's beautiful. No, I gotta say that the reason I love this movie so much is I used to have this thing called Bad Movie Tuesday when I was in college. So my wife, or I guess girlfriend at the time, we would go to our buddy's house and just drink a bunch of wine and hang out and watch terrible movies. And this was one of them.
Yeah.
And we just had a blast watching it. So for years I've been quoting it wrong. I forgot complete sections of it. But I've built it up in my head so much. Like, I'm bleeding. I can't talk. And just the treasure for some reason. And he's underwater for about 7 minutes at one time.
Yeah.
And I think I built it up in my head because we had such an epic night.
You're talking about the end scene, which is one of my candidates for best action scene, which, by the way, we need to get into Fantastic Four at some point because we did do an actual comparison of what was the better movie. What was the best character?
So are we just going to take a vote
in both of these films?
Okay.
And what was the best action scene?
And best single line.
Best single line.
So the better movie is Fantastic Four. Oh, because it has a narrative.
There's a story. Yeah.
It kind of does.
They tried. So I just watched a 90-minute documentary about it on Tubi. Have you guys heard of the documentary about it?
Is this Doom?
Yeah, Doomed. Have you?
I haven't watched it,
that?
but I want to.
Yeah, it's great. So they made this movie just to keep the rights to Fantastic Four.
Right. We did know that. Yep.
We did, yeah. So we had a bit of a episode reviewing this that was on a Patreon exclusive for Seven Lamb. So we really deep dove this movie, and as far as like the plot and where it was going and what we thought of it. So we didn't go into so much on the production side of it, just really how we felt about the movie as a whole.
There's more about the production stuff than anything else about this movie.
Yeah.
They tried. The people love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the time frame from Fantastic Four to Sharks in Venice is like we should have come a much longer way. Like I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah,
I can't find the budget for Sharks in Venice. Do you know what the budget was?
They don't have it. I doubt they do. So they
paid in cash.
Yeah, I guarantee you that there's some like tax loophole.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sell some rights to it.
They sold jeans in New York.
Oh, like
They sold jeans in New York.
I sell jeans.
People used to do that. There's a guy who made movies in the 90s, like Battlefield Earth, Ballistic X vs. Sever. And so he would get these massive budgets, but then he would go shoot all the movies in Canada. And so they give him $100 million. He would shoot the movie for 30, keep the 70. So you watch these films and you're like, $100 million budget. But it turns out they were 30 because he was like swindling money from a German corporation.
Sounds like a smart guy.
And he got away with it scot-free, huh?
No, yeah, they got sued and then he had to pay a bunch of people and his businesses went under. But, it's creative for the time going.
He thought he had him. He thought he had him.
For a couple of years at least.
Yeah. So let's go into, we talked a little bit about Shark in Vegas. Shark in Vegas.
Oh, can that be the sequel?
Shark in Vegas in space.
You just have the big fountains outside of what is it? Yes, and the sharks in them.
Yeah. So
at the Venetian, did you say at the Venetian? Was that?
Yes.
No, Bellagio. It's at the Bellagio.
Bellagio.
The big fountains,
yeah.
Shark at the Bellagio. It's just random people walking by the fountain.
He just eats them.
But they changed it to Shark in Arizona because it sounds better after that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But it's clearly the Bellagio.
Everything is Las Vegas. In the background, it says, Viva Las Vegas.
They just get stock footage of cactuses and just feed it in there. It's fine.
Oh, boy.
I'm
cardboard cutouts.
Sharks.
I'm interested to hear some of your notes and what you thought of this Fantastic Four movie.
Let's change channels.
Oh, my notes?
Yeah.
I love the hand acting of Joseph Culp, who played Dr. Doom.
Oh,
I was obsessed
fingers.
watching his hand motions.
Yeah.
I mean, they are
Mesmerizing.
Up there. Really up there.
When he's getting shot, he starts flexing. Have you noticed that?
No.
He puts his hands down like this, and he's like, just flexing when he's getting shot.
Yeah.
And his little hand, he wipes a lady's teeth at one scene. when the Alicia Masters,
the blind
he
lady.
He puts his hand in her mouth, and his hand acting was, man, and he's acting out what he was saying on set.
He really wanted to, big time.
Trying to remember because he said in an interview that he did that off of somebody. I think it was Mussolini. He was mimicking Mussolini's hand movements when he did that. And I saw that, and I'm like, oh, my God.
And I believe, Mark, you also told me that he wanted to do VO for everything. He said he'd do it for free. He just wanted them to be able to understand Doom because he knew they couldn't hear him through that GD mask. And they said, it would cost too much. No, we're going to keep it as it is.
Yeah, because he didn't know it wasn't coming out, but they did. They're like, trust me, we don't need the voiceovers. Yeah. He's like, no, I'll come in, we'll do it. You know, he's probably screaming through a plastic mask, and nobody can understand him. Just like Darth Vader in the original movie. Like, we're never going to use this. It's fine.
Right.
But
we don't need to hear you because we're going to play James Earl Jones over everything you're doing.
And that worked great for Dark Knight Rises, too. I understood every word
exactly
Tom Hardy
what it reminded me of when I started listening.
I don't know. When it came to that movie, there were so many things that I thought was wrong with it, but I'm sure you're really appreciating. For instance, one of the fixations, one thing I couldn't get over was Ben Grimm and his relationship with this blind woman.
I love you.
Oh,
right.
God.
She is from the comics.
No, I believe you.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's probably a little bit more depth and story behind how they're...
Hi, how's it going? I love you.
I love you. And she touches his face one time and then knows that it's his fucking sculpture, too. Like, what is that?
This sculpture feels familiar. Hold on.
Yeah.
I know this
Here's
guy.
my
I
favorite
love
thing.
him.
It's a blind woman walking downstairs with the cane or with the seeing eye, whatever. What is that called? The blind stick.
The
blind person poking stick.
No, I was going to say seeing eye dog, and I was like, no, it's not that. She's carrying also the bust of somebody's face. Why is the blind woman walking downstairs with both hands occupied? She runs into Ben Grimm, whose first reaction is to pick her up.
Awkwardly.
That's my favorite.
You're always safe with me. I think he even says that to her.
And she's really sad about her mask, too.
Yes, very. That she leaves it there and just leaves. And Mole Man, or whatever what's his name in the movie?
The jeweler.
The jeweler.
The jeweler's like, that's going to be my bride right there. Got it.
Man, this woman in her love at first sight situations is just out of control.
Love at first sight. How dare you?
I will never be your wife.
That was just not... No,
love at first sight. Unreal. The nerve. I'd like to apologize to our members of the blind community that listen to this. Mark is insensitive.
Unintended pun. I love it, though.
But
this movie, though, I think they shot this in something like 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks. And Roger Corman wouldn't allow them to have monitors on set to watch playback because those cost money. Everything is a rental. So, he's famous for making these cheapo movies. So they're just shooting as fast as they can. The director was relatively untested. He just worked on a bunch of B movies. Yeah. They had a really good production designer who ended up working on Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and Blade and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Candyman and Kazam.
Wow.
Mick Strawn. So, I mean, he was pretty good. But with the money they had and the time they had, I mean, just shoot. They just got to move fast. He had to, at one time, he had to ask for extra film and they wouldn't get any more money for it. So I guess knowing all that about this movie, it makes me... I don't know. It's just so scrappy.
It makes you appreciate what they were able to accomplish with what they were given.
It just makes me happy. It's just a scrappy little movie. I mean, listen, like Insidious was made for $1 million and it looks 10,000 times better than Fantastic Four.
Right.
But I mean, a comic book movie on 1.5 million, like, I don't know.
Here's the thing, and I'm not I don't know a lot about movie production. I know some, but I know that 4 weeks for a comic book movie is lightning fast.
It's stupid.
I'm pretty sure Endgame was filmed in like 6 weeks. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's well, in truth, I think it was a year of shooting for that movie.
Oh, I'm
just
sure.
for shooting for that movie.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks for Marvel's first family, air quotes, people at home that can't see me doing it. Marvel's first family.
More like Marvel's first try.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God. No, it wasn't their first try. Even the Lou Ferrigno, the original Punisher, that was better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Punisher with Dolph, I mean, he puts in a good performance in that. You have a cast, some solid fights.
Yep.
But this, I don't think I think Avi Arad, the guy who ended up doing Spider-Man later on, he's the one that forced Venom on Sam Raimi, and he wanted to keep this franchise. So I really think they made it, and then they had people who they didn't want to release it. They're like, this is going to kill us.
Right.
This will kill Marvel. And the director even said that. He's like, I get Marvel. He's like, I don't think they're the villains. They did not want this movie out. They didn't want them destroying their IP. So I mean, it was a rush job. I don't think it was ever going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like everyone tries. It's cheap. You know what? I don't know. I'm on my soapbox. They at least it has personality, right? You watch so many shitty, can I swear? Bad movies, and
hey, do me a favor. We'll go back up and edit it, but no fucking swearing or any of that shit. We don't want to hear any of that.
Stop it.
Fire away, my friend.
Respect.
Fire away.
But at least it has personality, right? Like, at least it's cute. It's a cute little movie, and it's scrappy. And I guess I like it because of that.
I think you have, more so than your average moviegoer, more appreciation for what goes into it other than face value. And I think for your common moviegoer, both of these movies at face value
suck.
Are so terrible. But then when you go into it and you say, hey, well, this movie was made in 4 weeks. Yeah. These people were putting their hopes and dreams into it. Then you're like, okay, it's still bad.
These people thought they were going to be movie stars coming out of this.
Yeah, they did.
Hyped. It's such a sad story when you hear about all that.
The cease and desist during the press tour. Guys, the movie's not coming out.
They're paying their way to go
stop.
to Comic-Con to do panels and show footage, and they're just told to stop.
And they're putting their own money into it.
Yeah,
it's a bummer, but at least it's growing. And I don't know, but also I've worked on a couple movies that people thought were going to be great, and they never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
So this actually happens a lot. So like people go in with the best intentions, and then this kind of stuff happens. Not with Shark in Venice; they had no intentions. They knew exactly what they were doing.
They knew what that was.
Yeah. Because all right, Stephen Baldwin. What did you think about his performance? It just seemed very sweaty.
It's very sweaty. It's very, and before I read some of the notes on this movie, I was like, are they just trying to be Indiana Jones underwater?
Kind of. Especially,
what are we doing here?
Scenes.
And so it's funny that earlier on you mentioned Rotten Tomatoes. I looked through Rotten Tomatoes a little bit to see what they scored the movie. I don't know if you saw this, but it was scored a 14.
Generous.
And reading the movie info from Rotten Tomatoes, I was educated a lot on this. The world-renowned archaeologist and diver discovers a deadly secret lurking beneath the labyrinth canals of Venice in this saltwater shocker from genre specialist Danny Lerner. I didn't know that he was a world-renowned archaeologist and diver. I knew he was a diver because they kind of shove it down your throat. But I was just like, I don't understand. Then obviously the ruthless mob becomes aware of David's discoveries. Of course, they asked for him. And then respond by kidnapping his girlfriend after they politely ask him to dinner. He says, I'll think about it. When he says, I think about it, they say, we're going to kidnap your girlfriend. Then they kidnap his girlfriend. Then they go try to kill him in his hotel. I was like, this is counterproductive. You want him to help, yet you want to kill him. And you have his girlfriend as leverage, so why would you try to kill him? Does that make sense to everybody in the room?
No.
Is everybody following me?
Makes more sense in Bulgarian.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It does.
David discovers and responds by, it's up to the fearless adventurer. Yeah. That's another thing. He's the guy. He's the problem they're trying to kill. He's the one they don't like, but he's the one they need. And as soon as they've kidnapped his girlfriend, threatened his life, said, you know what? You're not going to get out of this. They give him the spear gun with the grenade on the end. I was like, why does he have that?
I love it.
Because he's world renowned. That's
another one was Petro. Anybody remember Petro?
Oh, Petro.
Is he the diver?
Petro's the first one that went diving with Stephen Baldwin.
And they cared so much about him for probably no reason.
Where's Petro? She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, this is a guy that you just said in the scene before you go, I need another diver. And they go, okay. You never meet Petro. He's just somebody who jumps in the water with Stephen Baldwin. And all of a sudden, oh, Petro, I'm sorry.
More appropriate would be, hey, where's what's-his-face?
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question for all three of y'all?
Please.
Okay, what's the better fight? You have Stephen Baldwin in the wood shop fighting, hitting people with wood and doing all that.
Holding the chair as it gets sawn in half.
And, yeah, well, it's beautiful. It's like Gremlins. And then, or the final fight in Fantastic Four where she disappears and people run into each other and it's clobbering time and he stretches out and punches people. What's the better fight?
I personally felt like the 10-minute underwater fight
was exhausting
between Vito Clemenza and David Franks was the better fight.
Yeah, they brought it.
I thought
they were under there for a long time.
I was like, are they going to breathe?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. So, well, that's a great question. Do we want to go into our votes for better movie, best character, best line, best action scene?
Let's do it. I love it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's start with better movie. Which one do you think of the two? Since we've all seen this, we'll just kind of vote.
Are we talking better movie or which one did we enjoy most? Can I give both?
Whoa. That's a great question.
What?
Yeah, I think we just go with what the better movie is.
Oh.
So, better movie for me, I thought was Shark in Venice. I really did believe it was a better movie. Even though it was weird, there was a lot of stuff to dig up. I was just like, you know what? There's more of a plot here, I think. I didn't think there was a lot of plot to Fantastic Four, and it was thrown together so quickly. I was just like, you know what? If I have to pick between punching myself in the face or punching myself in the groin, I'll go with punching myself in the face.
I hope that quote gets pulled. It's like, Jack Austin, I think there's a lot of plot here. Put that on the poster.
Then I can say I know Stephen Baldwin.
I got to go Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I have to. Just, I mean, just this movie, man. It could be the fact that I slept through half of it.
You did watch very closely and make your wonderful fiance sit and watch it too, so you better not fall asleep on that one.
Yeah.
How about you, Mega?
I am also going with Fantastic Four, which, okay, let me explain why. Because there were the movie start to finish was, like, the production was the same. There is a plot there, in my opinion. I mean, it was god-awful, but there is still kind of a plot. It just seemed super rushed. And Sharks in Venice it was just like the production was choppy. It was like in some places it was decent, it was okay, and then there was the shitty background and the backdrops and all this other crap. There was no consistency. The story was stupid. I'm not a fan of Stephen Baldwin. I'm sorry, I know you're a listener, but I don't like him. For some reason, and I'm a superhero fan. I like the movies, so I enjoyed it more. And I think I'm gonna have to say that it's better too because it's consistent.
Okay.
It's right for its time.
I have a question to pose to everybody here.
Let's let Mark finish his guess for one of those, and then we'll get to that.
Fantastic Four, number one.
Wow, I'm the only Shark in Venice one, baby.
Boy. And this is from a guy who loves this movie, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say I enjoy Shark in Venice more. But I think a better movie is Fantastic Four.
Gotcha. Okay. I just, when you say that the way it was kind of choppy, like when he hits the guy on the motorcycle, then all of a sudden he's in the boat. I also think Fantastic Four, we're going down, and then all of a sudden one guy going, hello?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Anybody?
I was like, okay.
That's acting.
Still,
so what was your question?
Though.
Sorry.
At least the production was consistent.
For
which
sure.
is kind of what, because
low and consistent.
Yeah, like Sharks in Venice lost me from time to time because I'm like, wait a second, this was like normal movie, and then all of a sudden it's like garbage movie, and now it's like back to normal movie. Just the production, just the aesthetics of the movie.
Yeah,
well, that's a great point because there are a few times where I went, that's a serviceable shot right there.
Yeah,
that the cameraman knew how to frame that. And then I was like, no.
And then people started talking and using dialogue.
You're like, oh.
What am I doing? What am I saying? That's not true.
My positive notes are being destroyed by this very next scene.
So what was
that on the title? There are some shots that are framed well.
Glowing reviews.
It should just say Shark in Venice movie.
There are sharks in it.
Okay.
Oh,
so what were you wanting to pose?
Yeah, what was your question?
So I got flashbacks to when we watched Ghost Rider.
Oh, gosh.
I was watching Ghost Rider, and I thought to myself, is Nicolas Cage a good actor? So in this movie, I was thinking to myself, I thought he was. But is Stephen Baldwin a good actor? I'm not sure.
No.
Posing to the group?
Posing to the group?
No, he's not.
No.
Has he ever done anything serviceable or?
Yeah, he did Usual Suspects. He was really good in that.
Very good.
Okay. So what happened here?
I think he showed up on set and he just got the life sucked out of him when he saw what it was. I mean, this is a paycheck job.
Yeah, he just needed money.
So it's literally just like, let me just spit out these lines as fast as possible with no emotion or no investment.
Yeah, I'll give you one take, and that's all you get.
Yep.
I really did. He got there and he's like, oh my gosh, I get $50,000 for 3 days of work. This will be fine.
Yeah.
Because
let me get out of here.
I'll cash that check.
The way some of these lines were delivered, it was reminiscent of The Room almost.
Yeah.
He's like, I will not work for you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, just like Dad.
Just like weird inflections.
Showed up with puffy eyes, one line each take. That's it. Out of there.
It just, his enunciation, his inflection on everything, it was just off. It was just,
it was Baldwin.
He had a dead voice.
He seemed grumpy the whole time.
You would be too. All right, what's the next category you want to tackle? We did which one is the better movie? So we've got.
All right, so let's do favorite character, best actor. Wait, is that the one?
Favorite character, best character, individual character.
Best character, Lieutenant Toddy.
Lieutenant Toddy.
Best character. Okay. She got off scot-free for all the bad things she did.
Yes, she did. She
showed up and she saved our lives. That's what my report will say.
She's a hero.
Yeah.
She worked for the mafia and then just winked at the good guy at the end, and everything was forgiven.
Yep.
There's a lot of depth there.
Yeah, for sure.
And subtlety.
A lot of storytelling.
I need more time to think on this.
Mine
go around the table.
Mine was Vito Clemenza. The mob boss. God. He was my favorite.
He has a good look. Right?
The way he didn't
he looks
care.
Like a movie villain.
Right. He took the glasses off to speak every time in the movie, which was great. And he also is the owner of my favorite line of the movie too. But we won't get into that. Who was your favorite character, Mark?
Oh, Doom all day with his hand acting. It just entranced me.
How about the fact that it's one of the scientist dudes looks like Vito Clemenza?
Ooh.
One of his henchmen did. All right, you're on the spot.
I still don't know.
Favorite character?
Oh, God.
The shark?
The stock footage of the shark.
Yeah, the fin. The fin in the background.
Just the guy holding up a fin.
The POV fin. The POV fin.
Yeah, the GoPro strapped to a fin.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's so, I don't even want to say it. The drunk girl, because she was like, why are you eating that?
That's right. The one girl. You just want my body. What do you mean?
No.
I'll never get eaten by the sharks. I'm here, buddy.
I'm going to go with the woman, Ben Grimm's love interest. I'm going to go with her.
Alicia Masters?
Because she had to play a blind person. That's it.
She
might actually be blind.
Let's try to make up the damage that Mark has done to the blind community already on this episode.
That's not doing any. It's not dogging anything.
No, we're not. I said that was a good thing.
I'm going with her.
Okay.
No. I damaged the blind community today.
She tried.
Yeah.
She really did. That when you watch it, she acts.
And she's believable. And I was thinking Ben Grimm, and I was like, no, because he's not good.
She was believable until the Ben, I love you.
Nobody's going to say the jeweler? Just seems rude.
The jeweler. Oh, brother.
Oh, mole man.
They couldn't call him the mole man, right?
No, you can't call him the mole man.
He is not mole man. He is the jeweler specifically.
I gotta say, I watched this movie, and I guess the first time I just wasn't. I was writing or doing something, and I was like, "Wait, are they older now? What's happened? What their kids?"
Yeah, what happened?
It threw me. I guess it did throw me off.
He was just talking to 10-year-old Sue Storm. Now she's what?
30.
Yeah.
And they glory lit the heck out of her too. In that, every time she walks into a room, there's just hair light.
Yep.
On Susan Storm, they really lit her. You could tell they put some actual work into that one.
They really did. They put as much work into her as little work they put into Johnny Storm.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man. All right, so we've only got 2 more to go, which is best action scene and best line. So what do we want to go with first?
We've talked about action scenes. I say we cover that one real quick.
Yeah, let's do action scenes. Mine's 1A, 1B. crime. The crime. I have a 1A, 1B.
Oh, got it.
For best action scene, and I guess it all runs into one, which I just call it the crime scene raid, where Stephen Baldwin is fighting the villain for 10 minutes underwater, and meanwhile, up above the water, the SWAT team and the police are shooting back and forth with the criminals for what seems like that whole 10 minutes, and nobody gets shot.
Nobody.
There's cardboard boxes jumping all over the place, too. I don't know if you noticed that.
It's like somebody's kicking them.
They're like, we're going to squib this entire emptied-out Kmart and just ruin it for the last 10 minutes of the movie, and that'll be the budget. That and Stephen Baldwin.
What's your 1B?
So the fight underwater was 1A.
Okay.
Them just sitting back and forth,
so
just
the
jostling.
Same scene, but the simultaneous scenes.
I loved both facets of that scene, but I felt they were definitely different enough to say, I could say, the fighting underwater scene, but that, took place simultaneously.
Do you think Tom Cruise watched that and just thought, I could top that?
Yep.
Yes.
I could be underwater for an hour.
Mission Impossible.
You know what?
9,000.
I want the shark to eat me, and I want to crawl back out from inside of it.
Oh, man. That needs to happen. He rides one into it. Mission Impossible 12.
Boy.
He finds a megalodon and befriends it.
He has a shark mask that he just whips off, and then it's him.
Wow.
Mission Impossible style. What about you?
I'm going with the dirt bike race. That was action.
That was high intensity for sure.
They just needed a flaming
They had
loop.
dirt bikes. That's money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people to ride them.
There's stunts. There's a guy who did a falling gag in Sharks in Venice.
There's a guy who had to say, all right, so let's take a few weeks and plan this out, this intense motorcycle scene.
Yeah.
Somebody worked hard on that.
Oh, God.
What about you?
So are you talking between the both movies?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite scene, it's definitely not the best, but is when Johnny Storm is trying to save the world.
Yes.
And he is
the torpedo of doom.
He is the flame, and he's flying and like flipping around, and it's terrible.
I mean, he's more like a Windows 95 screensaver.
Yes, that's what it looks like. It literally it's awful, but it made me laugh so much. I was laughing so hard.
You're right. It looks like animated movies like Shrek when they show how they messed up the animation and the character starts going.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. I literally couldn't put it to words. That's it. And I loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I just couldn't. So that's my favorite. I think that's the best one.
What
That's
about
a
you,
fun
Mark?
Scene.
It's definitely one of the best scenes in that movie.
I just got to go with the basement fight with Stephen Baldwin because he gets really slapped around in that. There's some stuntmen, but there's a couple. He takes some shots.
He does.
Like there's choreography that he starts getting choked, and then he does a little knocks the hands away. Then he takes the guy about 8 feet away from the saw.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm going to die. He's like, you're dead already. And I'm like, wait, so he's going to kill him?
Yeah. I was like, damn, here we go. And that's the most acting he does in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when he gets knocked back, but he looks backwards to see if he's landing towards the pole. It's just perfect. And they tried, they choreographed it. There's some blood on there. There's a good wood gag where he hits him with a wood pole.
Yeah, and this guy who we don't know why he has any sort of ties to the mafia or anybody that he's with is so worried about giving up the fake location of where she is that he's almost willing to die to then give up a fake location.
I wish he would have sawed him and just blood splatters all over his face.
Then he instantly just becomes a bloodthirsty murderer.
Rides the shark and kills them all later.
Yeah, kills all of Venice. He becomes the Shark King. So I think we're down to favorite line or best line in the movie. And I'll kick this little ditty off because I loved Vito Clemenza. And my favorite grouping of lines of his, I don't remember specifically what it is, but I remember it catching my attention when he was talking about, I put my minnow sharks in the canals and then they get big and can't get out. I was like, wait a minute. So he's trying to protect the treasure by putting sharks in there. Then he's trying to employ divers who are getting eaten by the sharks. And the one diver he thinks he can get in there, he wants to pay to get through the shark, but he's also going to try to never mind.
That's a real catch-22.
Yeah. I didn't understand the whole purpose of that, of why he was trying to get divers. We really need the divers to get down there and find it. But you know what? Put all these sharks down there, so be careful with that.
That's a long time, though. Those sharks are old.
Yeah.
So if you put them, like great white sharks can live to be, I don't know, 60, 70, 40. I don't know. So he did it 20 years ago?
Let's Google it. It's worth a Google. And yeah, right back when he was, 11? Dad, I want some great white sharks. Think you could hook me up? It would make a lot more
sense if he was 11 and he did it.
Yeah, for sure. Right. All right, we're going to do this real quick. We're just going to Google how lifespan of great white sharks.
Are you going to push the Google?
I am. Little Google song of great white sharks.
Come on down.
Great white sharks time. Let's take a look at what the Goog has to say. 70 years.
Oh,
that's
70 years.
That is way
now,
too long.
I think what's important to also articulate to reach maturity. How long does it take for a great white shark to reach its mature size?
22 years.
That's your guess?
Yeah.
I say
probably like
I'm gonna say
12.
10.
What was your guess?
22?
26.
Ooh. Damn, that was a good guess.
Let me tell you what, at 3 years, I'm still not messing with the great white shark.
No.
I don't want a baby shark. Like nothing.
Baby shark.
23 years ago, he put those things in there.
Wow.
I put my minnows in the canals and they got bigger.
So
I've been looking for the treasure for that long.
So that timeline doesn't really work out, does it?
Nope.
Well, I mean, the sharks in that stock footage did not look that big,
right.
So I think we're fine. Maybe
but also,
maybe like 5-year-old
the great
sharks.
white shark that was big enough to capsize a gondola with 2 people in it and then eat them within 30 seconds. That's a big shark.
That is a big shark. Are there sharks of various sizes, or is it just the shark in Venice?
Well,
there's definitely sharks. There's definitely more than one that we've
because he
found.
blows up one and there's still more.
Right.
Yes.
But does he blow up the fast forward shark that every time they cut to it, it was moving faster through the water?
How many people can a shark eat in one day?
Probably one.
Because that shark ate more than one.
Yeah.
At a time.
Hungry sharks.
Hungry sharks.
That'd be funny if there's like a Vito comes back
riders
as a robot and he's got all the sharks named. Where's Orange Zero? I don't know.
I think the movie Shark Night stole the plot from this movie.
Really? I'm amazed anything would have stolen anything from this movie.
They took sharks and put them in a brackish lake and to kill teenagers and then sell the videos. So he put these sharks in Venice to protect the things. And then people are dying. And then he's throwing them in there to be fed to them.
To protect something he couldn't find. In about 26 years, something's going to be coming down here to find this treasure I can't find. So instead of dedicating 26 years to finding it, I'm just going to hope these sharks get mature. And when they do, then we'll look. Did you got your shark spray on? Did you spray your shark spray? No?
Well, I can't get it, but I don't want anybody else to get it either.
Right.
Oh, wait, real quick. We didn't touch on this, but I think most of the budget went to that medieval battle.
I think somebody from Rotten Tomatoes said that was footage liberally stolen from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was like, man, was it really? Did it really?
Wait, that wasn't Stephen Baldwin being dragged under that truck?
No, it was not. That was his stunt double, who was not looking anything like him. It was actually a 40-year-old blonde woman was his stunt double in that movie. Wow. So, best line.
You have to come back to me on that one.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. I have a feeling I have to come back to everybody.
I'm 4 for 4 with Fantastic Four.
Hey!
But mine is when Mr. Fantastic is actually fighting Doom right there at the end.
Oh, no.
And he slugs him, and he says, "That's for trying to kill me." And then he slugs him again, and he goes, "That's for trying to kill my friends. And this is for being a jerk." And then he pushes him off of the building.
Pushes him off the building to his death.
Well, don't be
Although
a jerk.
I'm pretty sure the fingers click after he's dead.
Yeah. So
I love that. For being a jerk.
That's for being
perfect.
a jerk. And I'm like, that is totally 1994 superhero film quoting right there. That's for being a jerk.
Mine is actually Dr. Doom as well.
Oh, boy.
It's that line where he went, and then waves his fingers.
And gave us spirit fingers.
Yeah. He was conducting an orchestra.
Yeah, he was. He looked like a woman who just got her nails done, like really long.
Yeah.
And was like waving her hands around. That's what he looked like.
How about you, Mark?
Do you think Elizabeth Olsen from the Avengers movie studied his hand motions for her?
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
To
do the Scarlet Witch stuff.
They kept
Scarlet
showing
Witch
her
stuff.
that during the dailies, yeah.
Yeah.
Come over here and look at this.
Are you doing Mussolini? No. Doing Dr. Doom. 94.
Oh, it's Dr.
Maybe you've
Doom,
seen
94. Oh, good.
Smart choice.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah,
in the
yeah.
universe. I like it.
I like it.
Watch when she does that to Thanos at the end. She's copying his exact movement.
That's right. That is the final spirit
Her
finger.
fingers click as well, but it's just arthritis.
Right.
So
Oh my god.
The 20-year-old Elizabeth Olsen has crippling arthritis. So
I
for this
can't do the
character, we really
gestures.
need you to move your hands a lot. She's like, oh, okay.
I lied on my
So
resume.
they just
Crunch,
mute
crunch,
every time
crunch.
she moves her fingers. Oh. It's like, don't move your mouth, Elizabeth. We're gonna just mute this out. Okay.
Screaming at the top of her lungs. She moves her hands.
Good. Use that.
Oh boy.
Who's this director?
Yeah, right?
Soul Brother.
It's me, actually.
Yes.
You're doing great, Elizabeth. Keep fighting through the arthritis.
Write it in the script that whenever she uses her powers, it hurts her.
It
This
hurts
makes
her.
sense
She
now.
screams.
Do
Yeah.
it more.
Doing more. You're in pain, right?
We could just take it out of the script. No.
Yep.
Look at that production
drive
value.
her.
Those are real tears.
No hand doubles, no hand models. Elizabeth's doing it. So what was your favorite line of the movie?
She's an expert in medieval studies. She's really smart.
Wow.
He's just sitting there looking at a piece of paper.
Who says this?
Oh,
Frank's?
when she's like, the Medici treasure is said to be this. And
Oh.
the lady
Oh,
goes, how do
yeah.
you know that? And Tati says, how do you know that? And then Baldwin just goes, she's an expert in medieval studies.
She's
Sweet
really smart.
exposition, bro.
Yep.
She's
And then he
really
looks
smart.
at her and he goes, she's really smart.
Oh boy.
Oh,
But this is line reading. Like
Yeah.
you could just say, because she's brilliant, she's amazing, I love her. But
Right.
instead, she's an expert.
She's really
it would have been more believable. He's like, why don't you mind your fucking business?
Yeah, Toddy, you seem up
Toddy?
to doing good.
Actually,
Yeah.
in the original cut, he says she's really smart, then he spanks her on the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
She was like, yeah, take it out of my tab. Oh, dear Lord.
She's an expert. But he just doesn't move, and he's just sitting there looking at a little map. And he reads that entire story to them, too, by the way. I know it's other narration, but imagine just sitting there for 10 minutes listening to him read to you about
About the
medieval-
Medici treasure.
I don't have to imagine it. I sat through it.
Yeah, we saw it. We lived it.
You were sleeping. Don't lie.
I slept through it.
I can't talk, I'm bleeding. That's
Can't
my
talk, I'm
story.
bleeding. And not to mention being bit by a great white shark, which I should have looked up some more facts about great whites. His arm heals
Yeah,
miraculously
he got bit like
fast.
on the shoulder, and then in the next scene, he's fine.
Same day. Great
Yeah.
whites, I want to know what their fatality rating is when they attack. I'm assuming it's extraordinarily high.
Yeah.
Not for a Baldwin.
Now for a Baldwin. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my lord.
Well,
That-
you never saw that late 1990s movie, Surfing with Sharks, starring all the Baldwins?
No.
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 Yeah.
Is
It's,
that real?
Is this a spiritual sequel? What is
Yeah.
this?
Is this a Vision Quest? What happened?
Now so they're three brothers who are bank robbers, and no, it's Point Break. No, but there's the Baldwin surfing.
Oh boy.
Sounds
On
like
green
you've got your writer's pad out. You're ready to go.
Just the Baldwin surfing on green screen.
Everybody's
Best
like,
movie ever.
we're going. As soon as the movies are back open, we're going.
That's what's
If
going to
you
be in
guys-
theaters
if you guys
when we
ever
go back.
do get bored, though, we do record fake movies about sharks on the MFF podcast. We have Sharks in Sweden about a bank robbery in an aquarium that goes wrong, and all the sharks get shot out and they
Wow.
attack people.
Wow. And
It's
you
like-
guys
yeah,
make
and-
these up or they're real?
Yeah, just make them up. And then we have one called Sunset Shark Club, where Patrick Swayze goes around the country surfing with sharks,
Oh
With
my.
the sharks. Hey, buddy.
and it's like a Dirty Dancing type movie, or like Footloose, but surfing with sharks.
If he does a lift with a hammerhead shark, I would watch that movie.
I had the time of my life.
That's
watching
the
it.
poster.
I had
Swims
the
at him
time of
and
my
he's just
life
like,
watching that. Very nice.
"Oh,
Very nice.
Oh boy. Well, I think, you know what? I think Fantastic Four surprisingly won a lot more categories than Shark in Venice. I can't believe this. I am shocked. I thought that movie was so terrible, and I was just, I was watching Shark in Venice. I was like, you know what? This is probably a good winner. And I'm alone in this boat. No pun intended.
We've made a couple puns today.
Yeah.
I don't. This movie won something. I think that's something that they'll take to heart and they'll be very
That's
proud of.
something.
Maybe we need to email the producers.
email the cast. Yeah.
No,
Hey,
you guys,
listen to our podcast. You won.
you won. Least worst movie.
Yep.
They tried.
Yeah.
There's a score in it. It's really heavy on piano. The composers put their own money into the score for Fantastic Four.
If I could give it anything, it's that quote that you just said. They tried. Because in Fantastic Four, I could not, if I wanted to, take that away from them. They did try. Every single one of them. They tried to make a good movie. They wanted it to be great. They wanted to become titans of industry and really do the Fantastic Four justice, which I admire. And Shark in Venice, I have to say, they did not try.
I want to see the Shark in Venice press tour. That's what I want to see. I want to see that junket.
It was actually at every 7-Eleven in Bulgaria, and Stephen Baldwin did not show up.
Wow.
It's just a Stephen Baldwin cutout sitting in a chair.
That's right. They just brought the cutout. We have a question for Mr. Baldwin. He won't answer.
I covered one of them for the New York Times.
Yeah, of course.
And it was at a Radisson in a basement.
Yeah. With you and Adam Sandler.
Yeah, and so we were, I got called in, Mark Hofmeyer, get down there.
Yeah.
We need this big scoop. So I went down there and I
J.
talked
Jonah
with,
Jameson sent you on a mission? That's great.
Yeah.
Where's my Spider-Man photos? Like,
Where's
they're coming? They're coming. But yeah, so
Slamming
down there
papers
in
on
this
the
basement, talking to the producers and everything, and I had to pay $20. Everyone had to pay $20.
Yeah, pay to get down there to do the interview.
Yeah, and then they sold waters, and I got
Sold,
involved.
yeah.
I have a timeshare now.
You bought a Zephyr Hills for $8.
Yep, Zephyr Hills for $8. I own a timeshare in Jacksonville right now.
Oh my!
Oh,
Time to sell.
Well. Looks
Sunny
like you won that one.
And I also have about 18. I was like big, like a HGH that was supposed to be like a pyramid scheme type thing where you get people working out. So I have like jugs of that now. So if you guys want any.
Absolutely.
Ship it to
I'll get
us.
you our
3
mailing
ABS.
address here after the episode.
Man, that really set my life back a few years, that junket.
But hey, you know what? You'll never forget it.
You and everybody else who worked on that movie.
No, they shot that movie in 3 days.
I would believe that.
I do believe that. But so
4.
I think that's definitive.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four 94 has actually won something. Congratulations to them.
Comic books over
That's
sharks.
huge. Yes.
All right. I'll take it.
And I think that's going to do it for us here. I think we'll do a big, huge thank you again to Mark Hofmeyer for showing up for Movies, Films, and Flicks and all the other things that he's in. Can you give us one more shout out where we can find you?
Well, I just want to say thank you, guys. You have busy lives. I know you have all your families, and you somehow sat down to watch Sharks in Sweden to talk to me. Oh no, wait, Shark in Venice.
Where's the shark again?
So Shark, I gotta tell y'all, I appreciate it. It's not lost on me. So I appreciate that y'all would spend your time watching a Stephen Baldwin 2008 film to compare it to Fantastic Four with me.
It was worth it. It was worth every penny.
This movie is free on Amazon and on YouTube.
Worth every penny we didn't pay for it.
So, no, thank you. Yeah, but I already talked enough about myself. We're all set. Just check out Movies, Films, and Flicks. And sometimes I'd love to have you guys on. Well, you pick something for me, and I'll do it.
Ooh.
I put this on y'all.
Ooh, absolutely. We would love that. Definitely stop by and be part of the show. So yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening. I do have one bit of info that I saw that I forgot to mention. Mandalorian season 2, October 7th. Let's go.
Did you guys watch the behind the scenes videos of it? Oh
No,
my gosh.
I want to though.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just
Favreau's
the
a genius.
technology they
Favreau
had
is a genius.
Yeah, because they have that like live tracking background thing, right?
blows my mind.
That's
so I've
crazy.
I've worked with a bunch of green screen and blue screen, and I like just seeing that wall. I got a little teared up because I would love to be on that set and just to see how that works. Because man, that'd be I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But yeah, that documentary is worth watching. Because
definitely gonna have to check that out.
Sure.
Watch that and Doom.
Yeah.
Yes. And Glow.
Oh no, Doomed. It's called Doomed. That's what
Doomed.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And Glow.
Yes, and Glow.
Yep.
Yes, and She-Hulk, and Umbrella Academy Season 2, and Shang-Chi, and Mulan, and everything. Watch it all.
And Portrait of a Lady on Fire on Hulu. It should have been nominated for Best Foreign Film. If you guys want to watch it, excellent French film that everyone needs to watch.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I already like it.
Beautiful.
Oh, well, yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to hype you up here a little bit, Mark. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Man.
Can you hear it, Mark? Can you hear it?
Wait, my heart.
It's palpitating.
I want to say a big thank you to Mark Hofmeyer for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Forge Supply and Tony Anello's Southern Italian Eatery. You can find us at alteregopodcast2@gmail.com if you want to send us any kind of emails, correspondence, nudes, whatever. You can find us on Twitter at podcast_ego, Facebook at Alter Ego Podcast, Instagram at Alter Ego Pod, youtube.com/Alter Ego Podcast. Thank you so much. We will catch you next time. Have a wonderful day, or don't. It's your life. I don't care.
Please don't send nudes.
Men or women? Let's just...
No, none.
Send me pictures of spaghetti.
I'm turning you up. Go, go, go.
Hello, Clemenza.
Shark in Venice. Da, 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 da.